I was very proud of our players' focus and discipline today. On Thursday night, we just were not sharp. We faced a very good Central Michigan team, and they made us pay in every which way. And I think our players learned a lot of lessons in that game that paid dividends today. Because, you know, let's face it, these are two teams that play great defense. And it was a defensive juggernaut of a game. But when we did have our opportunities, they stayed focused so that when they did present themselves, we took advantage of it. And, you know, we weren't going to get a lot of great open looks because of what great defense BG does play. But when we did have them, you know, Inma hit a big shot late, McCreesh off the flare screen, that was a big play. And we finally hit our free throws. We missed 7 free throws versus Central Michigan, and that was the difference in the game. Tonight, we make our free throws. I don't remember the last time we shot better from the free throw line than BG. You could probably go back past when I was the head coach at Toledo to find that. But we really did a nice job of connecting. It was good to see Nama Shafir stay in the game. I think she learned a lot from the Central game of some silly fouls that prevented her from being on the floor, and I was just really impressed with her determination to help us win today.
Questions?
Is there a much better way to bounce back than to do it in this building against this team?
Well, I told the players before the game that, you know, if we were going to lose a tough game, what better way to bounce back than to win a great game? And, you know, it means that much more because it's such a great rivalry game. I have a lot of respect for this BG program, and, you know, they've had such success through the years that it does mean a lot to win here. And, you know, what a great environment for women's basketball. This corner of the state really does appreciate it. And it was a fun environment for our players. It was a great chance for us to even, you know, be in front of a hostile environment and stay focused. And I'm so pleased that our players did what they did today. Showed great composure when we had some people not shooting the ball well. We turned it over a lot, but we still found our composure to squeak it out.
Will you talk a little bit about dealing with those turnovers in the first half? I mean, you cut the number down. It wasn't stopped, but it was at least sponged.
Right. I think our whole problem was we were not sealing well. Alexis Rogers is so quick, and they were giving Yolanda Richardson so much defensive attention that when we looked too long at her, they were getting tips, and Alexis, because we weren't sealing her, was sneaking around and getting deflections. And so Yolanda was frustrated because she wanted the ball and she thought she could score, but unfortunately she was getting too much traffic in there. And we needed to stop trying to be so deliberate and passing it in and work the ball a little bit more before we looked at those opportunities. And I thought we did that. I thought we did a better job of finding different ways to get her involved. But even if it was getting her the ball and letting her pass it right back out for a shot, those opportunities were just as good. And you know, that's where we had to grow at halftime, was talking about that.
Coach, beyond this game, I'm curious, kind of what has Nama meant to your program and now her fifth season for you guys?
Well, you know, she's a player that if you look at our statistics last year, we averaged almost double the turnovers without her. You know, she presents composure on the floor, leadership, a player who can score and create her own shot, someone that has great experience in games like this. You know, she's played in 4 of them. And, you know, that senior leadership and the ability to go get your own shot really helps you in a tight game when both teams have scouted the heck out of each other and you need somebody that can make a read. You know, she's a very intelligent basketball player. And today, it was great to see her bounce back from probably one of the most frustrating games of her career, where, you know, she spent a majority of it on the bench because she was in foul trouble because she committed some silly fouls. I thought today there was a moment where I got a little nervous, where she started getting a little touchy and picked up a couple, but she really bounced back and showed a lot of mental toughness.
Did you play her more off the ball in the second half? It looked like Angela was bringing it up more.
Well, Angela was hitting some pull-up jump shots, and, you know, we try to pay attention to who has the hot hand win. Nama tweaked her ankle a little bit at the end of the first half, and so we were trying to get Angela some looks and just mix it up a little bit. Sometimes when Nama was coming off ball screens, 2 people were following her, and we wanted to give some other people an opportunity, just in case. You never know who's going to be open at the end of the shot clock, and if somebody hasn't touched it in 5 minutes, you can't expect them to hit a shot. So really just trying to mix it up. We've had an unselfish team all year, and it was good to see different people step up down the stretch when we needed baskets.
What was today like for Jess, and how much did you talk to her before this game to try to get some insight on BG?
You know, I think the main thing is a lot can be made of her, you know, talking about Slagle.
Yeah.
A lot can be made of her being a part of our program, but I think the thing people have to understand, She's a young coach, comes from a great program. The biggest reason I wanted her on our staff when she came to talk to me is because she's got a bright mind, great personality, brings great energy. You know, I think the main thing is she understands the rivalry. She understands the mental preparation that goes into it. And she helped prepare our kids from a standpoint of, you know, making sure that when they made a mistake, letting it go. You know, and she was great even during timeouts, patting the kids on the back saying, hey, don't worry about it. You know, and reminding them the focus that it took to win the game. You know, it wasn't as much strategy as it was her working on the mental side of our kids, saying, hey, I've been there, I understand this, and if you just stay focused, we can do this.
You mentioned defense, but then you guys really dominated the boards at both ends. You gave yourself some second chance and didn't give Bowling Green many. Maybe that was the biggest factor in the game?
Yeah, I would agree. And the fact that we hit our free throws, because, you know, Central, we got some offensive rebounds, but then we couldn't convert when we got fouled. And so tonight, being able to connect on 75% of our free throws, and then, you're right, I thought Tricia Smith went and got some big offensive rebounds, especially on free throws late, where we were able to run the clock and extend the time so that they didn't have as many opportunities to get a good look offensively. But you're right, we did give them one shot now down the stretch, and that was a big factor. You give this team 2 and 3 looks, and you're going to pay. They're too good of shooters.
Did you expect, I know you're expecting a defensive struggle, did you expect it to be, I guess, this ugly at times offensively for both sides, or was it the defense just that good?
I think the first half, both teams were just trying to figure out what each other were going to give the other team, and sometimes that takes a while, especially when, as I said before, we scouted the heck out of each other. We know each other really well. Our kids, sometimes they pick up in the summertime. I mean, you couldn't have a better scouting report than when they know each other that well. And so, you know, it was going to be a tough struggle. We both pride ourselves in not giving easy opportunities to the other team. So I think we did know it. I had hoped it wasn't going to be as ugly at times as it was, but I think a lot of that was us being too deliberate, trying to get the ball into the low post, because we knew if we got Alexis in foul trouble, it would mean a lot. It would take away a big scoring threat for their team, and we never did really accomplish that.
Thursday night, you said that you thought you guys could have been more aggressive offensively. When you see what you did today, were you happier with that this time around?
I was happier. I think that, again, especially in the second half, during that key stretch, we took what the defense gave us. You know, right down to when we set the flare and slipped it, and Lucretia got the nice little basket. You know, that's big. That kind of blows it open. But even being patient enough to when we finally had an opportunity to have a break, and Lucretia got loose on a fast break and got an easy 2. You know, that's a heartbreaker when you've continued to push a team to 20 and 30 seconds in the shot clock before they can get a good look, then to give it up in 5. You know, that was huge. But that was her determination, and sooner or later I'm about to get one. And she did.
Coach, can you kind of share what was going through your mind on Nama's 3 right at the shot clock, the one she banked in late?
Hallelujah. You know, we've had enough bad ones go our way that it was finally like, you know, thank you God, we finally got one that, you know, that fell. But you know, every once in a while you're going to get lucky, but you get lucky because you work hard.
And when the one where Lucretia slipped, was that the design of the play, or was that a read off the play?
It was a read, but we knew we were coming back to the flare. And it was one of those 2 I had hoped was going to be open, and they gave a lot of attention to that one. That's why she was open. It was a great play by our players. It was a great read.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right.